The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
The first reading, and certainly the responsorial psalm today, and certainly this Gospel of Matthew, all has to do with a common theme, and that is light. Light. And in so many ways, we often forget that Advent is a time of awaiting the light, or enlightenment, to see better, to see the coming of Christ. And that requires light. It's interesting that in today's gospel, this Gospel of Matthew, which really truly is an Advent reading, it kind of puts it out there, that the blind men in today's gospel, as much as they're unable to physically see, they are certainly not blind in their faith, are they? And Jesus calls them forth in their faith to a physical healing, but even to a greater depth of seeing. In our tradition, another word for faith is to see. To use the lenses of our faith to see one another, to perceive and see the coming of Christ in the present moment, and the signs of the times of Christ coming to us in the future. Indeed, faith can be that vision for us to see deeper. But the gospel also admits that there are areas of our life that we have blindness. And it might be a blind spot towards someone we hold a grudge. It might even be a blind spot about how Jesus is appearing in the present moment, or blindness to the coming of Christ in our life, even in the difficult moments. Because certainly these blind men that came to Jesus seeking a cure, a miracle, they were living in the worst of times. But they were living with a great deal of animosity towards them from the community who felt their blindness was caused by sin. So they were shunned. But even in the midst of that, there was a level of seeing going on. And that was that faith, that vision. And it's their faith and that vision of faith that brought them further along into seeing in a physical way, and a greater light had dwelt upon them. So today's gospel invites us that this Advent time is a time for us to see again, and maybe even to take those hard measures and to maybe see the blind spots in our life and bring some light to them, bring Jesus to them. So that by the time we get to Christmas, we will know the coming of Christ in our present day and in the future coming of Christ in our midst.